John knew they found it humorous. His sibling reclined in the passenger's chair, a smirk playing on his countenance as if John were a hired servant rather than family. "You're merely the chauffeur," his brother declared. "And the others, my father and mother." His spouse joined in a family chorus of derision. Then came the realization. One chamber, accommodating for individuals, parents, brother, and his wife. No provision for John, no formal invitation, no thoughtfulness. I maintained my gaze fixed on the steering mechanism. I smiled. No issue. Failed to discern the gravity that settled in the silence behind my eyes. They believed their jest had landed perfectly. But pranks lose their essence when you hone them into weapons. I should have foreseen it. My brother has perpetually gauged his own worth by the extent to which he could diminish mine. As children, he concealed my toys, appropriated my concepts as his own, and wore arrogance like a diadem. Yet I held the conviction that time alters people. I extended to him the benefit of the doubt. I rationalized that we were now older, that familial bonds held greater importance. I was mistaken. The truth is, the indicators were evident. The muttered conversations between him and our parents, the swift cessation of dialogue upon my entrance into a room, the brief expressions of pity from his wife, as if she were privy to a secret but would not utter it. They did not genuinely desire my presence. Nevertheless, treachery does not inflict pain because of the action itself. It inflicts pain because of the perpetrator. In the residence's foyer, they congregated around the registration counter. I stood a pace back, listening to my brother's pompous voice. "Accommodation for 4. He announced it like a formal statement, like a decree inscribed in granite. He didn't spare me a glance. The clerk appeared perplexed. "But you arrived in a vehicle with 5. "That's just my brother." My mother dismissed "just my brother," as if I were an afterthought, a mere notation. The laughter reemerged. That was the precise moment I made my determination. I did not challenge them. I did not plead for a place to rest or demand respect. That was what they anticipated, an outburst of feeling, a demonstration of vulnerability. Instead, I retreated outside, extracted my device from my garment, and made a single transmission, one call. That was the extent of it. I requested a favor, cashed in a standing obligation, and when I re-entered, I wore the identical composed smile. My reticence disconcerted them, though they could not identify the reason. While they transported their luggage towards the lift, I remained by the reception's pane. I observed headlamps approaching, black utility, vehicles pulling up smoothly and deliberately. They had not come for me. They had come for the establishment. Within a few minutes, the manager was summoned. Murmurs circulated among the personnel. The reservation infrastructure flickered on the monitors, and then, my brother's voice pierced the air, sharp with exasperation. "What do you mean there's no reservation?" The manager apologized. "A malfunction in the system," he claimed. "All guest rooms were cancelled. The entire house was fully booked. Nothing available." I permitted the turmoil to unfold. My parents' disbelief, my brother's fury, his wife Emily's quiet shame. They stood central in the foyer, bags resting at their feet, their decorum dissolving in plain view. And me, I leaned against the support structure, arms folded, as if observing strangers. My brother finally turned toward me, his face flushed, his jaw rigid. "Did you possess any knowledge of this?" I inclined my head. "I'm merely the chauffeur." The silence that ensued was heavier than the polished stone floor beneath us. He understood then. They all did. The favor I had claimed was not subtle. The regional director of the hotel network was an old schoolmate, one who owed me more than mere thanks. No accommodations meant no excursion, no festivity, no plans. I offered nothing, no remedy, no pity. I simply strolled past them, keys in hand, and entered my vehicle. They hesitated. Pride forbade them from requesting assistance, but necessity compelled them harder. Eventually they re-entered one by one. The identical chairs, the identical car, but silence had usurped their laughter. On the return journey, the sole noise was the engine. My brother's voice never rose again. My mother did not belittle me. My father did not scorn me. And his wife Emily kept her eyes fixed on the pane, feigning that she did not witness the shift of dominance in that foyer. Retribution does not require fire. It does not require yelling or aggression. The most effective recompense is hushed. It creates space for them to dwell with their mortification, to reenact their own callousness until it corrupts them from within. I bestowed that upon them. They presumed I was expendable, that I would accept the role of spectre, driver, retainer. But one small turn of the wheel, one device call, one resolution, and the equilibrium shifted. Now, whenever my brother looks at me, he recalls the lobby, the sacks at his feet, the vulnerability before bystanders. He recalls the flavor of humiliation delivered by the one he attempted to debase. And I recall too, not with agony, not with ire, but with composure. Because in that moment, I was not the chauffeur. I was the individual who charted the course, and they will never forget it.